Alright, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, just never really got around to it, but I'm going to explain faster than light travel in Frontiers Reach today. Typically, when you're in science fiction, you get either a Alcubierre drive kind of bubble, a wormhole tunnel, or a wormhole, or some sort of like fast travel tunnel, or in Star Wars they have hyperspace, which is like a scaled down version of real space, so it's like just faster to travel between different things. So here in Frontiers Reach, though, we do quantum cavitation. We create a pocket of null space in front of a vehicle, almost like a black hole, and then ride that like a hypersonic torpedo would travel underwater within a pocket of air. So you just kind of show this off. Right now in the game, you'll see something like this, where we have stars and we're traveling and all that stuff. There we go. Right, so stars flying by, we're traveling, all that fun stuff. And at the end of this thing, we have an opening, and it opens and closes based off of whether we're traveling or what not. So we're first starting up, we get the stars and then the black hole that we have down here. And lore, it's a little bit more kind of impressive, I think. In the lore, you would actually see a bubble in front of the ship form. And this bubble, let me move this up a little bit, is basically kind of like a, come on, take me somewhere else. This bubble is kind of like a black hole. Basically, pocket where nothing, literally nothing exists. Because nothing is faster than the speed of light, so we'll just use nothing. So, at this point, the bubble is formed, it's ready to start moving. It fires up the main engines, and we get our little tunnel here, right? Only, rather than having the black hole at the very end of this tunnel, it would be a lot closer, right? So we would have something that looks kind of like this from this perspective. However, the bubble is actually going to deform over time as we speed up, and it will go from looking like a sphere to slowly looking like a cone. That cone will eventually wrap itself around part of the front end of the vessel, and it will ride that cavitation bubble all the way to its destination. Now, the way they're able to determine whether or not they're on course or not is that at the intended destination, there is typically a beacon that has been left behind by an automated drone some point in time in the past. Human beings have updated it, they've maintained it since they've arrived at the system, but there has to be a beacon in that system that's sending out a signal. That signal, when this thing is perfectly aligned to its target, that signal will hit this bubble and it will create a ripple effect that leaves a unique signature. They can detect that signature in the bubble as they're hitting it at literally relativistic speeds. So they hit that signal, it leaves a ripple in the bubble that lets them know they're on course, especially when it hits at the right angle and at the right frequency. So that bubble doesn't just tell them, or that signal doesn't just tell them direction, it also tells them distance. As they get closer, they will start to slow down, and the bubble will return back to an actual bubble shape until finally dissipating back down. However, something that should be noted, if they travel fast enough, they can burst their bubble and basically have the entire weight of space-time traveling at faster than light speeds slam against the vessel and just rip it to shreds. So, yeah. There are downsides to this type of travel if you're not careful. So, and for the record, these plates right here give you some idea. We're gonna pull in a fighter here. None of the texturing on this is to scale, so just keep that in mind. But I'm gonna pull a player fighter in here. Ignore. That's not what I wanted to do. Come on. Turn off all the UI stuff. Right. That's a player fighter? Yeah. This thing is massive. So, yeah. This ship is built, this massive ship is built for ferrying other vessels across the frontier on trips that are months long. That's something that you don't see in the games because it's just difficult to represent it in a way that's going to be interesting. But when people travel between star systems, it's weeks and months of travel, depending on how far the star system is away. It's usually 1 light year a day. So, you know, if there's only a couple light years uh, between two star systems, you know, you're looking at on a low end sort of passenger vessel, 2 days of travel for 2 light years. On a high end uh, vessel like a private yacht or something like that, you'd probably get 2 light years down in a day or less. Just kind of depends on you know, how much money the person building the ship decided to put into it, how robust they decided to build the systems. Now there is a limit. There is, I don't remember the name I came up with it, but there is a limit to this, and that limit, I want to say it's something like 10 light years a day is the fastest anybody's ever been able to go. And it's not something that is easily achieved. Like in the lore, the person who achieved 10 light years a day was basically using something like an interstellar carrier's drive systems on a ship that's like a tenth the size of this. It was extraordinarily uneconomical to do. So it's only those types of systems have been reserved for like discovery probes, and there have been a few that have been sent out, and they found stuff that nobody knows about because the authorities and the Sol Confederacy have kept it very, very secret under lock and key. They don't even keep it anywhere near where somebody could get to it accidentally. It's like in some research facility that's tucked away on a world that nobody ever goes to for any reason at all. So there's all sorts of stuff that's left over from the fall of the Sol Confederacy and the Republic that I'd like to get into with mercenaries. Um, so, but yeah, this was just a quick brief, or I say quick, but it was just a quick uh, introduction to lightspeed travel in Frontier's Reach, which we call sprinting. Sprinting between systems. Sailing between systems is much slower. That's like slow boating. That you're talking like 1 light year a week at that speed. But anyways, till next time.